Hi everyone, this is Moses and welcome to Website Vanilla. Today I'm going to talk about CSS resets, especially about how to make your own custom CSS resets. So normally this is my process when I start a website to make sure that I get rid of some of the browser defaults, styling which I don't want. And in today's video I want to show you how you can go about that process of creating your own CSS resets. So join me. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is pull up my code editor, WebStorm. Again, this is my favorite code editor by JetBrains. Alright, that is opening up. Alright, I'm going to make a new project. And then I'm going to name this project CSS Resets. I'm going to say create. A new project will be opening up. Alright, so here's my project, and then the first thing I'm going to make is an HTML file so that I can show you how CSS resets works. So index, okay. Alright, WebStorm automatically create that markup template, and then I'm going to say here it's custom CSS resets. Alright, so one thing you have to know about CSS resets is that the whole goal of creating CSS resets is so that you are in full control of your CSS styling. Also, it is to get rid of some of the browser default styling that you might not like. And also the third reason might be to ensure consistency between browsers. So normally for some styling, one element can look different in different browsers. So I'm going to show you an example here on why do we need CSS resets. So for example, just before me writing anything on my screen, let me just write a paragraph, maybe a short paragraph. I'm just going to write P here, Rorem, tab. And then let's go to edit, view, active editor, software, so that you can see my whole screen. And then I can just increase this. All right. Okay, so that is my paragraph. Now let me open this paragraph and you will see it has gotten a certain look to it, a certain kind of styling without me doing anything on the CSS part of it. All right, let me open using Chrome. It's opening up. All right, so I'm going to put this on the left and this on the right. So you can see here, this is my paragraph. I've not styled anything, but you see it has got a font style, like a font family to it. It has got some padding and margins. You see it is not right on the edge of the browser. And how you can see that, you can right click and say inspect. And let's see. So if I just, let me increase this. You see, so here paragraph, and I can say to style, I can go to computed. It will show me all the style being applied to this. Now, if I want to see all of them, I can say show all. It will show all the ones that are applied by default. So if I go to font family, you see here it's using Times as a font family. Also, if I go to margins, for example, you will see this paragraph has got a margin. You see, you have this margin block end, margin block start. So already it has got margin. Let's see if it has got padding too. All right, no padding. So I see here it's all 0. So you see there are all those like 3, 4 styles that by default. You have got your margins, you have got your default font family, and also you've got line height, I believe. If we go to line height, you'll see that. Where's line height? Line height is just normal. By default, I think that is 1.2. So font weight, font size 16. So by default, you have all these styles being applied before even you start writing your CSS. All right, that is just one. Let me go to another. Let me write another markup, maybe for an ordered list. UL and then say list item. Let's say maybe this is number 1, and then I'll just add here 2, 3. All right, that is an ordered list. If I come here, you see it's right there. So already it has styles. First, it has been indented from the left, and then you see it has got these icons. And if I can just inspect this, you'll see inspect styles. It shows some of the style that the list style type is disk. And if I go to computed and see all of them, you'll see that it has got all those styling. So there, that list style, I believe. First, it's gonna display as a list item. List style type is gonna be as a disk. You see, it has not got any paddings and does not got any margins. So it has got that one. First has been indented from the left, and then you have these disk shapes. So let's go to another element. This maybe it's a link. So let's say go to link here and just say maybe google.com. And I'll just say go to Google homepage. All right, now when I click here, I should see that. You see, now this is a link. It has already been styled too. It is blue, it has been underlined. All those styles, if I can just right click and inspect this, you should see. It says here it's underlined, and I've got to computed here, I can even see the color. You see, color, it's already that style. Cursor, it's pointer over here. It has been underlined. If I go to text decoration, I believe, scroll down, text decoration, you see it's underlined. Text decoration color is also a blue. So you have all those styles before you even begin CSS. So let me add one more element. So let me add an input element, for example. Say input text, and let's say I put a placeholder on this input. Placeholder, I would say a name, maybe. All right, let's come here. You see, that is my input. It has got this placeholder is kind of gray. When I click on it, it has got the blue outline. Let me inspect this so that you can see. Inspect that. You see, you have got first your background color is white, and then you have got your border. So by default, this has got a border, as you can see. And you see all these styles. So all these strong red shows that all these styles have been applied to this element. Sometimes you don't want these styles by default, so you want to reset before even you begin working on your project. Let me open a new. I'm gonna go here and say new CSS file. I'm gonna just call this maybe style, and then so I'm gonna start the setting. So the first thing when I do my browser resets is make sure that every element does not have a default margin or padding. So I say select every element, that's time in select every element, and then set the margin to be 0, set the padding to be 0, and there is a third property, it's called box sizing, border box. Now this is also very important property. And what this does is it just makes sure that whatever width and height of an element is exactly what you want it to be. Normally, by default, the box sizing is contact box. So let me show you what the difference between a border box and contact box in short. So let's say I have a short paragraph here. So I'm gonna say class para. So here dot para, let's say, let me first, I'm gonna disable this. I'm gonna comment that. So let's say the width of para is 400 pixel and the background is red. So let's view this on a browser. Let's see how this looks. So open in Chrome. Oh, nothing shows, and you know why? Is because I've not included that CSS file, which is just simple. I can just come here and say link, and then say style.css. All right, if I come here, refresh, now that's my paragraph. Now let me add a breaking space here so that you can see it on its own line. Let me add actual 2 of them. All right, so this is my paragraph. It has 400. If I just say inspect, you see here it tells me it's 400. The width of this is 400. If I just highlight here, so it says 400. Now there is no padding, there is no border, and there is no margin. Now this property, box sizing, by default it's context box. So I can just go to computed here, for example, and I say let's go to box sizing. You see here now say box sizing context box. All right, so by default my paragraph box sizing property is context box. Now why don't I want it to be context boxes? Because let me add the padding and margin. Right now you see that is 400, but let me add the padding and margin. So let's say padding is maybe 20 pixel on all the sides, top, bottom, left, and right. Come here and refresh. So now my paragraph has got padding, you see? So if I just inspect this element, again, you will see my paragraph is 400. It tells me here is 400 pixels of width, and then you have 20 on each side. Now, this is not what I expected, because I want the whole of this background here to be 400. Right now, it's 400 plus 20 on the left and 20 on the right. You see? Because it's adding the padding on both sides. And if I add the border, for example, let's say I add another border. Let's say I add border. Let's say it's maybe 10 pixel, solid. So come here. You see, now I have that border. And actually, let me increase the font size so that you can see the paragraph here. Let's say this is 20 pixel. All right. So right now I have border, I have paddings, and then I have my paragraph. Now if I come here, you see it says 400, then I have 20 paddings because that is what I've set here. And border, you see this border is 10 pixels on all the sides. So right now this content is not 400. The width of this paragraph is not 400. I mean, the width of this paragraph inside, yes, is 400, but all the surrounding element, they keep adding more to it, which I did not want. I want, when I say this paragraph should be 400, I want the padding and border to be included in that. So that is what this does. So right now, if I change this to border box, you will see all of this padding and border will be inside this 400. So I'm going to do that right now. So let's say uncomment this, come here, refresh. All right, the element itself might kind of look a bit different. Now if I come here, now see the paragraph has been decreased, the paragraph itself, but all the surrounding elements, if I add 340 plus 20 plus 10 plus 20 plus 10 is 400. So the whole of this element now it's 400, and that is what box sizing border box does. I hope that helps. And by default this is set to context box, and I wanted it to be box sizing border box. All right, so go back. So this is how I set my resets, by having a margin, padding, box sizing. Now another element I normally work with, I can just delete this because I won't need it. So the margin and padding will apply right now. If you just see my paragraph does not have any padding or margins, and it has applied even for the URL, the unordered list, it's the same too. If I refresh, it's the same, and if I view it in another browser, it's the same. So it has gotten rid of those. Now that's just one, but also there is another element. What about these lines? I always override this underline, so I can just say also I want my link my A tag, I can say I want the text decoration for this to be none. So I don't want that to. So now it's just that. But I'm not gonna get rid of every browser reset. It's just the one that I normally use. And if you've realized, you see this input here, the font looks a bit different. This is like a sans serif font, and this is a serif font. So if I just right click here, inspect, if I go to font family, I should see that is a sans serif font. See, it's Arial. It's Arial. While the rest of this paragraph is Times. So you want your inputs to inherit whatever you have on your body here. So I'm just gonna say also I want my input, I want the font family, because this is font family, I want it to inherit. Alright, if I come here now you see it has been changed to Times. Alright, now I'm gonna add a few other properties that I normally reset on my HTML. So image, normally image are inline elements, and sometimes when you work with them it can be very problematic. I don't have an image to me right now. Also, I want to make sure my images are always have a maximum width of 100%, because by default if an image is too big, it's gonna kind of go beyond, is gonna overflow your container. So I want to say that, okay, contain all my images within the container, make them have a maximum width of 100%. Also, images are by default inline elements. You also don't want that, because normally you want image to work as a block elements in most of the cases. So I also want to say here display block. All right. So that's how you make a custom CSS reset. You can add as many properties as you want. So for example, here I just added input. You can add other stuff. For example, let's see how a button will look. If I just say here button and say maybe submit, let's see how this button looks. Okay, you see it has got a background and a certain style that you might not want. Also, if you see the font is also different here, so you might say also, you know what, I want also my button also, all my buttons to inherit the font family. All right, so those are few CSS resets to override your browser defaults. Now, another thing I want you to note is I'm not gonna do that to every element. I'm not gonna reset every element, because there are some elements that come by default. So for example, strong tag, if I just say here maybe HTML and CSS. So strong tag by default, you see it's bold. I mean, now I don't want to override that. I'm just gonna put it as it is. Also emphasis, I can just say here maybe JavaScript is also kind of in italic. So some other elements, if you normally use them as they are, you can just leave and let the browser take control. So for example, heading 1, this is my heading. I don't have to, see, I don't necessarily want to override any of that bold text and maybe the font size. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and in my custom CSS I will put the style that I want, but I'm not gonna override every browser reset. So all right, this is my short custom CSS reset. So you can download this and maybe use it, and how you do that is just include this file style.css. All right, thank you.